welcome to the stage door with Michael.
And Divina. I'm Michael.
And I'm Divina. And we're going to be meeting lots of really exciting and interesting people all across the theatrical world.
Yes, we are going to be at the stage door of many different theatres, meeting the cast of all your favourite theatre stars.
And we'll be getting all the gossip and news about the theatre world and all about them too.
Yes, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty and find out what makes them tick and all about their childhood upbringing and more. Today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome the brilliant Thomas... Oh, not Thomas. Sorry. I was reading on here. Go again. Today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome the brilliant Killian Thomas LEFEVRE. Woo!
Hello! Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. How are
What an introduction. What an introduction. Oh, gosh.
Amazing. So, Killian, obviously you are touring with Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes, I am.
Such an incredible musical. What was the audition process like for that?
Fairly short, to be honest. I did, I believe, 3 rounds of auditions only, which is potentially one of the shortest processes I've been through for a musical specifically. They tend to have quite long-winded processes with, lots of singing rounds and lots of dance rounds. Luckily, Dear Evan Hansen isn't massively dancey, also I thought.
Go on, tell us more.
I just did a couple of singing and a bunch of acting auditions for it. 3 rounds, I think it was, yes. And then when we got into rehearsals, I ended up being the part that dances the most in the musical. So it's good fun. It's good fun. It filled me with dread for a minute when we started learning the choreo, but it's all good now. It's all good now. The shows have started. Still come see it. I swear I'm good. I've learnt it now.
So, what's the name of the character that you're playing, Killian?
I play Connor Murphy. Connor Murphy is a young, troubled teenager, you might say. I almost want to say spoiler alert, but not really, because it's right at the beginning of the musical. He takes his own life very early on in the story. And then sort of still sticks around, just as taking different forms, as a sort of either voice from the beyond or just representing other things.
Okay, great. So he's the dead boy.
He is the dead boy. He is the dead boy. It is integral to the story. If he doesn't die, it's going to be a bit different.
Yeah. So he dances the most. What's the show been like so far? How's it been going for you? Are you enjoying it still?
I really am. Because the subject matter is so heavy. I think I don't know about my castmates, but for me, I had a bit this sort of fear that it was going to be a little bit, heavy on a day-to-day basis. Just sort of. There's a lot of crying anyway in the show, and there's a lot of really sad moments and a lot of subjects that you don't necessarily want to be thinking about, every day when you come to work. So, but we've managed to keep it super light and breezy sort of backstage, which I think is so necessary, to be honest. You've got to snap out of it. Otherwise, if you sort of carry it with you, it's going to get a bit much.
Yeah, 100%. You shouldn't ever be sort of living as the character for that length of time, because you go to Lally.
Absolutely. No, you absolutely will. Especially if you're touring for like 10 months.
Yeah,
God.
Exactly. So have you got any rituals or anything, as a cast that you do before the show or after the show to kind of help with that decompression?
We've got a few before the show. I've got 3 personally. So I share my dressing room with Tom Dickerson and Richard Hurst. Sorry, he's gonna be really mad that I butchered his name. Richard Hurst, who Richard plays my dad, and Tom plays Jared Kleinman in Dear Evan Hansen. And we share a dressing room, and we get along really well. And so Tom bought this, it's like a party game. It's a hot dog and a chicken, and they've got suction cups at the bottom.
I know it.
And there's supposed to be an
Flipper.
actual game. Yes, exactly. There's supposed to be an actual game with it, but we didn't read the rules. So we throw them against the mirror, and they have to stick, and we've got to stick one each before we go on stage. So we do it at beginners, and sometimes it takes quite a while. So it's happened that we've been like a touch late. Just a touch. just a touch.
I have something similar in my house, but it's not shaped like a chicken or a...
More a hot dog.
You know that hot dog looks extremely suspicious. Every tech person that comes into our dressing room does a double take, especially when it's hanging from the mirror.
Still wobbling from where you've just thrown it.
Yes, indeed.
That's lovely that you've got that, though, to sort of brighten the mood and just, you know... What happens if you don't do it? Like, what happens? I don't know. Is there... You don't go on?
You know, I think you sort of get caught up in the sort of the feelings and the preparation that you do for the character and stuff. And I think if you don't make that separation between what goes on in the play and your own separate life, I think after a while, I don't think, you know, over the course of one show it would be a massive issue, but I think after a while it might take its toll on your mental health and on your mood.
Yeah, we'll come back to this in a minute, but before that, let's just tell all the listeners how you got into performing. Did you grow up always wanting to sing and dance? A little birdie tells me Katy Perry was quite the influence.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yes.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag, Killian? That's the
Every
question.
single day. I have never related to anything more. But then I did listen to her latest album, and that made me quite sad. I'm so sorry, Katie. I really do still love you. Yes, Katy Perry was quite the influence, to be fair. No, I didn't really grow up performing that much. My family are all musicians. Most of them are, anyway. My stepdad is a pianist. My mom plays the piano as well, and my grandpa played the saxophone. All of these things, so we all had to learn instruments and things like that. So that was sort of my way into music. But I took like one musical theatre lesson when I was 16, maybe 15, 16. And I sort of I came back home after that, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds awesome. I'm from Paris originally. I'm French, and so telling my mom that I was going to move country about a year after that was a bit of a we fought quite a bit about that.
Wow, really?
Yeah. She's
do you
now
want to
very
tell us
proud and
anything?
supportive. She's
What was
now
the
very
reason
proud
for
and
that?
supportive.
Why did you feel like you had to move country?
The industry's quite different in France. There's a big theatre scene and things like that, but it's a lot of straight players. And at the time, I had my heart very set on musical theatre.
Straight plays? Ugh!
Exactly.
thank you.
Who wants that? Who wants that? So moving was absolutely necessary.
Do you go back to France much, or...?
Yeah, I try to go back a couple of times a year. I have my whole family still there, so I try to go back to see my parents and my sisters and my brothers. But they visit quite often as well. To be honest, they've come to see every show I've been in. So. Sisters
how many
and brothers.
sisters and how many brothers are you? Is it a big family?
It's sort of like a recomposed. It's like a patchwork family. My parents split up when I was younger. And then my dad and his partner split up later on. So lots of children, but no, I have 2 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers.
So you're the eldest.
I am.
The boss.
I am. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like the eldest. Both my sisters drive, for example, and I don't. And they like to remind me. They love to remind me.
Yeah, I'm one of 7, and our family is very that. There's lots of one-upmanship, and the eldest in our family is known as the golden boy. That's what we all call him. because he's
That's
very
what they call me
clearly
as
the
well.
favourite.
That's what they call me as well.
I love her.
I knew it. I knew it.
And my mum doesn't even deny it as well. It's horrible.
She's like, you're the favourite. Come back home.
She tried for a long time. You know, I think after I trained, she had this idea in her mind that I was going to come back to France after I'd finished training. I don't know why she would think that, but I think she had that sort of set in her head. And when it didn't happen, I think it was a little bit of a shock. But she's okay. She's still got my sister to take care of. So, and she's a handful. So,
Absolutely.
So you've moved like country already. Is there somewhere else in the world that is like, okay, that's the next place? You know, I find that people who've already moved a full country end up being those kind of, you know, like a gypsy. I'm going to move from place to place to place, and I'm going to experience all these different cultures. So where are the places that you'd like to go to?
do you mean to live?
Yeah, I think
move?
so, yeah, to live and work.
I think for me, I've sort of got to fall in love with the city, to be honest. For me, London was really close to my heart when I lived in Paris. I visited it several times. I'd go to watch West End shows when I started enjoying musical theatre. And then I sort of fell in love with the city and really wanted to move there. I think the only other city I've sort of felt like that has been New York, to be honest.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why.
It's gotta be, and also it's perfect for the business I'm in. So
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think out of everywhere in America, New York is my favourite because they're much more honest. You know, like if you go to California, oh, have a nice day. Whereas in New York, they're like, have a great day. Get out of my shop. You know, like they're much more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. I prefer having that kind of honesty rather than a fake joy.
I fully agree with you. Paris is a bit like that, actually, in a sense. Paris is quite similar. Yeah, well, it's sort of borderline rude, to be honest, more than honest.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but yeah.
Especially if you order the wrong wine. I ordered a white wine when I was still eating meat, so about 25 years ago. I ordered a white wine with some meat, and the waiter nearly slapped me. He was so angry that I'd ordered white with this piece of red meat.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god, yeah, we are very we're just really particular about the things coming from our own country, I think, to be honest.
Of course.
The wine, the cheese, the bread, it's kind of like three pillars.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. So, Evan Hansen is a really full-on show, isn't it? Like, we've already kind of touched on it. There's a lot of heavy themes that run throughout the whole show. And social media is one of those things that also kind of crops up the way that the people in the show talk about each other online and the way that they interact with each other online then has real world implications on their interactions as well. I'm sort of because you're of that age, you know. Nana sat here is, you know, I've already got a tough skin. I've already got a tough old skin before I get there, but you've kind of grown up with that social media world. So how has the company sort of said we would like you to use your socials in this way, and then how do you deal with the pressures that come from social media and being in such a high visibility show?
Right. I mean, for me myself, I've always been fairly good at taking a step back when I needed to, just because I think you're right. I did grow up with social media, and I kind of struggled with it. You know, I found it really difficult to process the amount of information, knowing about everything and everyone all the time. It's just, it's a lot. It can be really overwhelming. So I'm actually quite good at just, you know, not answering to messages if I'm not in the right headspace or things like that. And it kind of makes me feel like a bit like a prick, but I don't really feel bad for not answering to people sometimes if I'm just not in the right. It can be, it's like emails and things like that. I'm okay to put that aside for a long time until I'm ready to be back at work, you know. But that I found that quite necessary, because when I don't do it, my mental health sort of tends to spiral quite quickly. As for the show, I think the main worry that we had with this show is that we'd have people experiencing similar issues and similar situations that we have within the show, getting into contact with us performers to help them solve them, which we're not trained professionals, we're not trained to do. You know, the show deals a lot with suicide, self-harm, whatever, suicidal thoughts, grief, all of those things, and none of us really know how to support someone in a proper way that's going through those things. Even though, you know, you might have gone through something like that yourself, that doesn't make you ready and trained, qualified to help someone else through it. So they give us a little training in case we wanted to offer some support. So we had this lovely charity called The Mix that did a little seminar with us and gave us sort of little ways to answer those messages or those queries at stage door, for example, if it were to happen. And should we want to, you know, we're not obligated to, but it could be quite heavy, you know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'd feel prepared or strong enough to actually offer counsel to someone going through something like that.
And
I
you feel
get a lot of that.
right?
Is it this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you, Michael, that you get quite a lot of those messages asking, you know, people saying, "Oh, I'm going through this," or "Thank you," or da 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 da. You know, 100%. I get a lot of those messages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's the same. I'm like, I'm not a professional. I hope you, and I send them some links to external organizations which hopefully can help them, because I'm not, you know, I'm just a silly drag queen. I run around and sing stupid songs and kick my legs around. I am not like a qualified sociologist or psychologist. I'm not.
I feel exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm already crazy enough, bitch. I can't take on your stuff too.
No, I fully get what you mean, and that's the thing as well. Like, you're right; those messages do crop up, especially because, or both of you are performers. I'm sure you get way more of those than I do, and the amount I get is already quite overwhelming. So early on in my career, I sort of had to make this decision that I wasn't going to answer DMs of people I didn't know, for example, just because there's a line I need to draw, and I'd rather have it pre-drawn.
100%, and
I
think it sounds like you've got a handle on that. So, and I'm really glad that obviously the show seemed like they're providing support for you guys as well as cast. So, well done.
Yes, they've been really good.
Bloody phone. I don't know.
You're so in demand.
I know.
So in demand. Goodness.
I don't know how to turn it off. I'm at my mum's house and I'm like, what is...
I was going to say, a house phone.
I know.
I know.
Crop this out.
When did that last happen?
Actually, don't crop it out. You said I'm in demand. Leave it in. Right, okay, well, let's... This is a sign. Let's go for something a bit more easy breezy. We've got a little game for you, Killian. So, basically, all you've got to do is name as many musical theatre shows as you can in 30 seconds.
Oh my god, don't show me the timer. That's horrendous. Okay, alright.
Divina, over to you.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, and Juliet, Mrs. Doubtfire, Dear Evan Hansen, Bat Out of Hell, We Will Rock You, Mamma Mia, The Lion King, Frozen, Beetlejuice, Hercules, Tarzan, oh gosh, 42nd Street, Easy Street, Company, The Last 5 Years, Parade.
Done!
Oh,
18.
18. That's good.
That was very
That's
good.
not the best, not the worst. We're good. You're good.
I'm sweating. I am sweating.
I was waiting for Davina to say, "Take it off."
Oh my god.
Absolutely not. Thank you very much. I would like to not be Divina cancelled just yet.
Oh, well done, Killian. Thank you. So obviously you
That
mentioned
was
Bat Out
great.
of Hell there as well. Was that your first role? And my next question after that is, what's like the future dream roles?
It was my first musical.
Okay.
My very first role was there's this company called Secret Cinema that does immersive shows based on movies and TV shows, and I did their Secret Cinema Stranger Things. I played one of the leads in that. That was my very first job, and then straight after that I got Bat Out of Hell. Yeah, so it was my very first musical.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what a show to be a part of as well. Like, so much
fun.
stuff in it.
So fun.
And
that was one of
just-
my dream shows, honestly. I've been very
Done it.
lucky with my musicals. I've done 2 musicals so far, and both were in my top 5 that I wanted to do, so...
I need to hear the
I'm
top
doing
5.
alright. Oh gosh, actually, hang on, I've got the list. I wrote it out the other day.
you are proper materializing, aren't you? You're like, okay, law of attraction,
Manifesting.
bring this to me.
Yes,
Love that for
yeah.
you.
I was chatting with my partner about it, and I was trying to get her to guess what my dream shows were.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Fantastic. So, in the ones that are left that I still want to do, we have Amélie.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
I'd really like
French
to do.
roots.
Well, wait, Les Mis.
There's a theme here, Killian.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I'd love to do
Martin
once as
Oh.
well. I do have Martin Guerre on there, but I wasn't going to say it.
That's brilliant.
I love Martin Guerre. I must have been the only person who saw it while it was on tour here, and
You
I must
saw
have
it?
seen it. I saw it like
I'm so
20
jealous.
times. I saw it like 20 times. I went to see it all the time. I went to their. I'd been so much that I got invited to the after show party. Oh, girl, I had the best time.
I'm really jealous. I'm really jealous.
It is it's such a great show, and I'm
And
so
they
sad
haven't
that
brought it back.
I know, 20 years, and it still hasn't come back, and it really should, because it was fantastic. Like, one of the final scenes, there's a wall at the top of the stage, and it's got all this kind of plastic paraffin stuff on, and it drips down fire onto the stage. Like, it's all on fire at the top, and it's all dripping down at the back. It's incredible. It's a fantastic show. Yeah, really great.
They need to bring it back. They have to. It's been ages already.
Yeah. But you
I
see,
must
that's
say-
how old I am. I saw it the first time round.
I must know what role you wanted to go for in Les Mis.
If I'm still young enough, Marius.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm still young enough, and then later on, I'd love to do Jean Valjean. But I'm aware that I'm still fairly young, and I look even younger than that.
Clean
so
shaven will do you well.
Clean shaven will do me
Yeah.
well. So but perhaps in 15, 20 years. But I'm okay with looking young. I've sort of made a career out of it so far. That's fine. I just hope it keeps going.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope I reach 35, 40 and it's still
Yeah.
the same.
Decent doctor and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
And a lot of moisturiser. Morning and night. That's the key. There it is! That's the one! That's the one! Although, well, yeah, I prefer Astral. Astral is the one for me, but yeah.
Message me that.
Yeah.
I need the tips. I have to look 17 for the next year.
Exactly. In order for you to get these roles, though, you've got to get through the auditions, haven't you? So
Yes.
I would like to know, have you got any particular... I mean, you can't have that many audition stories. I've got 12 million. But have you got any audition stories that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. I'll give you one. It was, God, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm never gonna get hired again. I was auditioning for a cruise really early on. I was just out of drama school. I might still have been training. I'm not too sure. And it was a busy day, and I had 2 different auditions at Pineapple Studios, for those who know it, in central London. And I'd done one of the auditions, and my brain was a bit frazzled, and I went in for this cruise audition, and I was singing Angels by Robbie Williams. A classic. I've sung it for so many auditions. Anyway, the cut that I chose, that I know as well, it's on my vocal reel. You know, I've sung this song a bazillion times, and I get into the room and the pianist starts playing, and for the life of me, I cannot find the key. Impossible. And I go through the first phrase and I'm like, I'm not in the right key. And I try to change it, I just can't find it. So I stop him and I'm so sorry. I just can't find it. Could we start over? He starts over and I still cannot find it.
Can I have a note, please?
I stopped him and asked for a note, and I still couldn't get it right.
What?
And so I stopped him a third time, turned to the panel and went, "I'm so sorry for wasting your time." And I went to grab my music and walked out.
Oh!
I really want you to say that you got the job, but I'm feeling maybe no.
No, they haven't auditioned me since. It's weird. I should get my agent on that. See what...
I bet they're seeing you, like, on tour in DEAR EVAN HANSEN. They're going, is that the guy that can't sing and shoot?
Oh my God. I've never been so mortified in front of a panel before.
Well, don't worry. We've all had those stories, all of us.
Absolutely. Look, you've been absolutely amazing. But before you go, I just want to know, if you weren't a performer, like, what other job would you see yourself in? Like, is there a hobby that you've got that you could turn into a profession, or...
I mean, most of it would have been creative for me, either music or writing or something like that. But if it hadn't been that, I think I would have been a wood carver or a carpenter.
Cool.
Probably.
Based off anything?
I don't know where that came from, but a few years ago I started having to think, and I was like, you know, once I'm done with performing, I'm gonna go and be a carpenter, if I'm honest. Yes, I want to make a coffee table and a desk. Those are like my main thing. I don't know where that came from, but I've been obsessed with it for a couple of years now.
I think that's a great idea. I picked up whittling at one point. I started making little things with bits of wood, just because I was like, my entire life centres around drag, and I don't have anything that doesn't centre around drag. So what did I made myself a magic wand so that I could do a number in drag. That doesn't work, does it? You've just turned what you was going to be a cute little hobby back into something about drag. Why have you done this? Stop this. So then I just stopped doing that. Right. It's honestly, it just takes over your entire life. I want us to finish with a final game. So what's going to happen is Michael is going to sing a line that Joel gave us yesterday. And then you're going to give us, and you need to finish the line. So he'll start the line and you need to finish it off. And then what we'd like from you is one of your favourite musical theatre songs, a line from that for the next guest to finish off. And we'll see whether you know it.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right.
So
Yeah.
Joel was quite cheeky. So Joel's currently playing King George in Hamilton, and he's just left you with one note. So I'll try and sing the first bit, but obviously you're a tenor, right? So you'll know what I mean. So he sang, "You say your love is draining and you can't go." Yay! He found the key, everyone. He found the key.
I found the key. I learnt how to do it. Vikings
brilliant.
Cruises, if you're watching this.
Brilliant. He was quite naughty with that one. To be fair, we had Zoe Burkett on, and she belted out some absolute notes that I didn't. I was like, "How am I doing? I can't be repeating all these amazing singers."
Oh my gosh.
all you need to do now is just sing a line of a song for the next guest.
Okay. Oh, does it need to be quite famous, or can it be a little bit?
You
I
can
don't know.
do niche if you like.
Yes.
Okay. I'm interested to see if you guys know it. Oh yeah, probably. Just maybe not that song. There are people, and they are publishing my
Book.
It is.
I love
Do you
that
know
I
what
it's
I'm
love
saying?
that show.
Say the last word, like the last
Oh,
word
no,
of
now
the
it's
show.
just a Don't worry about the whole line. We just want the word. One word. A singular word.
Exactly.
You've been absolutely amazing,
Yeah, what
Killian.
a great choice. Gorgeous. Thanks, darling. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for giving
Thank
us
you
your
for having me.
time.
We'll have to come and watch you on tour, and
Please
we're looking
do.
forward to it. And everyone else will as
Please
well.
do.
100%.
I'll introduce
Amazing.
you to all the rest of the cast, and they're all lovely, and they'll all love you.
Yes, well, thank you for
Gorgeous.
joining us at the
Mwah.
stage door. Woo! Thank you,
See you
Killian.
soon.